Worst thing ever. I'm redoing this because, wow, I don't know what's going on with my hair. I'm redoing this because my lens was so, it had makeup in it or something on my phone, and I did a very fuzzy video yesterday. But I'm going to try to do this before people come and drill to put a grab bar in my bathroom for my mother when she comes. And so hopefully the doggies will not bark. Shadow wants to say hey. Shadow, can you come up? I think he'll probably, maybe not. Okay, so today what I'm going to show you, and I actually had to do an addendum to yesterday because I left out a few things, so hopefully this will all flow better. I'm going to show you my whips. I'm going to show you a little bit of haul, not a lot, just a couple things I got. I'm going to show you a UFO that I need encouragement to finish, and you'll see why. And I'm going to talk about a separate video I'm going to make about doing some framing, archival framing. That'll probably take me a couple weeks to get this all together, but I'm going to do that. And first, I'm going to tell you that this Thursday, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be featured on Fiber Talk, the podcast, and we'll be talking about my needlework in general and my needlework repair business. And I have some funny stories to share about that. So, I'll share that on there. So please watch me. I will be nervous, be extremely nervous. Who's not nervous doing that? Some people maybe. There's some great floss tubers on here who are they're really good at floss tubing. I always feel like I'm a bore or something, but anyway, I really appreciate y'all's feedback. Let's get started. I am doing Hawk Run Hollow, Houses of Hawk Run Hollow. Are some people from our Sampler Guild, a Birders Guild, are in a local group, and there's also a Facebook page called Let's All Move to Hawk Run Hollow, and I put our group picture in there. You may have seen that, but here's Houses of Hawk Run Hollow, and I started here, and I've moved over this way. I've got a huge piece of fabric that I didn't want to cut because I don't want to cut it short. And I've got it in this hoop. I've shown you this before. I'm enjoying working on it in this hoop. And this is a lot lighter. I bought a lady's whole kit, all kitted up pattern, and it's lighter, but I like it. This is 40 count, light exemplar, I think is what I'm using here. Lakeside Linens. Bought this from her too. That's my cute little hawk needle minder from Caroline. Okay, she gave us all one. Nice. All right, and oh, I didn't say. So what I wanted to say was this is only the second project I've done with silk, and I really like it. The silk she used was hand-dyed fibers by Vicki Clayton, and she's out of business. This is not. It is straight. It's just, because I've got it in here. But I was wondering about whether I should be going across or crossing each X. I have been, kind of traveling, travel and then come back on this. This is one strand over two, one thread over two. But it doesn't show. It's not modeled. It's just, it's got a little variegation because it's over-dyed silk. And that's fine for me. I just didn't want anything to be spotty. So I think I'm pretty happy with that. Just getting used to the silk. And along those lines, I I was watching Ms. Milky Bar Kid's Flosstube about silks. She didn't address, I was hoping she would address, you know, like how you stitch with silks, the best way, you know, when she does a full cross or when she goes across like columns or whatever. Just interested in that. But what she does is she takes you through the different silks, like she starts with hand-dyed fibers, and I don't know that when she did that if Vicki was out of business, but she loves, Ms. Milky Bar Kid loves the hand-dyed fibers too. And she talks about Overa Soie, Gloriana. I don't think she mentioned needlepoint ink. And what I did on this, this other stitcher's silks, only one color kept breaking on me, and it was this color. And this color, you know, goes around all of the squares. You know, it's like doubled. See the double line there? Double lines around there. So, after it broke like the third time, I kept working with it, but when it broke the third time, I took it all out, and I ordered the needlepoint silk. And this pattern does give you it gives you the Overa Soie, needlepoint silk, and DMC colors and numbers. So that's really good. And then this lady gave me her conversion chart for the hand-dyed fibers. So anyway, so I took that out, ordered my needlepoint silk from 123 Stitch, got that, was so excited. One night I almost finished the whole, putting it all back in, and then I realized that I had picked up some wrong color lighter down here and put it in. Not the correct one, because I did order a different color for something in these houses. So that's been taken out. That's been taken out twice, all the way around. And I just, you know, wanted to go ahead and start something else, and I haven't, you notice I have not finished. That does not bother me. I'll go back and finish that, and I've got legs, and I got this to do. So I know, I'm aware I have not finished that square. Just moved on. Okay, then I am also still working on, you've seen this on Instagram under Persnickety Stitcher or Melissa C. Beck. This is the Long Way Home Stitch Along by Tempting Tangles, Deborah Dick. It's only $5 to join on Etsy. You go to her Etsy pages, find it, pay $5, and then she will contact you and tell you how and let you in the group and go ahead and start. And people start all the time, so no worries. If you want to do this, just go ahead and sign up. Pay $5. And then she posts all of the parts on that Facebook page. So you can then, once you've signed up, you can go and get all the parts for it. Okay, next, the Snowflower Diaries Stitch Along. Still working on this. On this one, and I cannot stand whatever this is. I cannot stand it. It is not good, but it's okay for this. And it's working out okay. So I've almost finished May. I'm behind. I think I told you I changed the little white bird to the Eastern Towhee because I have him in my yard. I need to write May on there and finish the corners. I believe that's it on that. I did change some of the colors. I had to darken this because this wasn't showing up. I changed. They're in the middle of that. See those little those? I changed those, and I think I have to finish over here and do that because those needed to be darker. All right, then June is the bear. Hold on a second. I brought these patterns in. These are free, so I can show you. Here's the bear. This is what I do is I fill in with my highlighter. Whoops. Cross off my flosses that I need. This is my working copy. And so little cute bear. But you see this dark, the colors that she had for the bear are these two colors. And maybe that's a Hungarian bear, because I wanted to do a Smoky Mountain bear, an Eastern United States bear, and so that's why I changed, oh, pardon the 1800s clock. Doesn't that sound cool? It's like a coil, a metal coil, and it hammers it, so bong bing, bong bing. There it is. Working, yay! Okay, I think the timing's off though. So anyway, you know, this will be light, but I just wanted him to mostly look dark. What do y'all think of that? Because I first started doing this gray, and it didn't look very good. So then I just thought, well, I'll do the brown, but mostly the important parts black. I think that'll be okay. We'll see. So I only stopped because I just picked up something else. I'm doing my own little magic rotation of stitch on whatever you want to stitch on at the time. And then I started for my son, and if my daughter watches this, because she's a subscriber, my son is not, Tori, please don't tell your brother, because this is a surprise. I told him I was working on something for him, and he was really cute. I texted him and said, I'm making you something, ... And he said, what? He texted back, what? Never get a lot from him. And I said, well, it's something, it's a surprise. You may get it for your birthdays, and his birthday's December 8th, or Christmas, but I think you'll like it. And he goes, I said, I'm working on it, try to work on it a little bit every day. And he goes, oh, wow. I'm excited. So that was fun. But I'm doing him the 99 bottles of beer. And this is such a fun pattern. It's so cute and fun. I love it. The reason I love it is because she just did such a great job putting all the details into these little bitty bottles. Now, and also you can do a bottle in like an hour or two. So hopefully I'll stick to this and get this done. But aren't those cute? They're so cute. Like, I didn't know what this was. It said this is shelf 5. So I started 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm right here. I started on Hobgoblin in the middle of this shelf. Now this is not going to be a huge piece to frame. I'm using the called for, which I'm sorry, I don't. Oh, I do have it in here. I am using 32 count, but this is not the ale from Picture This Plus, because I have a small piece of that ale that I got for something else, and it is too, I'm not a fan of mottled, so it was too mottled. But this is, I believe it's Weeks Dye Works Confederate, it is Confederate Gray, and I think it's Weeks Dye Works. And it is a good color. It is not gray. I don't know how to show you that it's not gray, but it's not. It's like it's a beige, and it's over dyed. It's just a nice, soft, not beige, kind of, I don't know what you'd call it. Let's see. Well, here's some brown. It's not gray, I promise you. But anyway, I like this, and apparently it's popular, this Confederate Gray, because I had to wait to get this from 123 Stitch. They were sold out of this size, and then it came pretty fast. But what I was going to say was, so that's Hobgoblin. This one, I was stitching it and I didn't know what it was. It's apricot flavored. I think that's it. Peach or apricot, I forget. So that's like a little apricot. Isn't that cute? And the Hobgoblin. And the designer was like, you try doing, you know, teensy tiny things. If they're not perfect, they're not perfect, but I did my best, and she did a great job. This one's not finished. I'm working on that one. This one, they said, was Mickey's, and I didn't know what Mickey's was, but that is, I think, an ale from Miller Brewing Company, Wisconsin. And if you look it up, I Google imaged it. It looks just like a Mickey's. She's just she did such a great job. I cannot wait to make 95 more bottles. So I'm really glad I'm doing that one. Okay, then I picked this up. I'm doing Easter Peep Parade, and I have no idea what I did yesterday when filming this with my pattern. But, so I can't show you, but I can just show you this is the back of the bunny. He's a bunny like a toy with wheels. This is a harness, and he's got like a little little peeps, chickens on top of him. It's really cute. It's Brenda Gervais with my needle and thread. And when I went to Sampler Guild on Sunday, she cut me this chestnut Weeks Dye Works, and it is exactly, this is a little project. I think it going to end up being like 4 by 9 or something. So it'll be like a long skinny pillow. I'm up one size on, I think it was 35 or 36 count. This is 32 count. That's what they had in this chestnut, which was exactly what I needed for the pattern. That's what it called for. And I just started this. I've done that much last night and today, just because I wanted to start it. I'm missing some of the the floss. I need to order about 5 more of those so I can finish that. But I just started it, and okay, then I had bought a while ago part 1 at a going out of business sale, part 1 of Margaret Cottam from La Di Da. And then I posted on the Stash Unload that I needed the other 2. And then, like, just a few days later, somebody was selling her whole kitted up Margaret Cottam, and so I bought it. But this is really cool. So here's your 3 parts, 3 pattern parts, and it calls for 30 count cocoa linen by Weeks Dye Works, and it's 1 strand over 2 linen threads using 1 skein each of Weeks Dye Works floss. So I got all of that: Pelican Gray, Havana, Charcoal, Baked Apple, Oak, Swiss Chocolate, Molasses, and Schneckly. That came with it. So, and this is the Cocoa Weeks Dye Works. I think I am going to go with a lighter color, just because this looks dark to me. I mean, that's what they did it on. This is it together. Then you get this. You get this little thing. It came out in parts, so you can like stick those together and look. And the pattern's on the back of those as well. What's on the inside? Oh, okay. Well, there's no pattern in these. It's just like talking about, and there's a key. There's a little key that you can stitch up, and that shows you, you know, your symbols. I would never do that. To me, that's like doing a gauge for knitting, which I object to a lot. I hate that. It's like extra work, and then you take it back out. But I know you have a lot. I do it with knitting. I just complain a lot. So I don't think I would ever do that key. What, would y'all do it? I mean, you can make a little pin cushion with it, but I just wouldn't do it. That little key. I guess I can show that because it didn't show it very long. But anyway, I really prefer something like light mocha over this. I want my stitches to show up more. So I'll go lighter. Okay, but here's the threads. Pretty Week Style Works flosses. Very pretty. See some variegation there. Oops. There they are. Okay. And so that's Margaret Cottom. Eventually going to do that. No Clementine. And then the other haul is a full yard of light mocha. Love it, love it, love it. I don't have a lot of stash, and I need to sell some of what I've gotten that I've picked up various places. But this came from Crazy Annie's online. Crazy Annie Stitchin'. Annie was real nice and very helpful. She emailed me right away. This is for the summer house, Brenda Gervais. I got on that bandwagon too. And I want to put it, I don't know how big all those 6 parts are going to be. There's 4 lessons and then 2 other things go with it. But I want to do it all together because I like big stuff. And so here's everything except one. She ran slap out of, so if you order for her for this summer schoolhouse, she's out of wood rose. And she's going to have to, it's back ordered. But again, this called for, I forget, it called for something else, and I wanted to do it on this. So that's why I got that. It is casual linen, light mocha, and I really like this casual linen, light mocha. I like that a lot. Good color. Wish I had that. Maybe I'll have enough to do Margaret Cottom because Margaret Cottom is not very big. This is not a big piece of this. So I'll contemplate that. You can give me your thoughts and opinions. And then, okay, my first ever, this is not cross stitch, it's embroidery, but I thought I'd show you this. I don't think, there's no cross stitching on here. It's just a little child's embroidery. This is one of my first kind of longer projects. I was either 8, 9, or 10 years old. I was in Oak Ridge before we moved to Cincinnati, and I feel like I was sick all the time. I either had tonsillitis or bladder infections a lot when I was a little kid, and so I feel like I just spent a lot of time quarantined from the family. I also had mumps and chickenpox. So my mother got me this probably at Walgreens or Woolworths, probably there, and here it is. Little kitty cats, they're so cute and vintage. So this was in the 60s that I did this. Here's the other end. And I've had to take a lot of stains out of it. I used this from like the time I did it on my dresser. I had my parents had gotten me an old Victorian Eastlake dresser, and this was on the top of the marble for years and years. I don't even after I went to college, probably, I'm sure. I used it a lot. Let's look at the back for fun. Wow. Wow. My mother did not embroider much. I'm sure she helped me with some of these stitches, but she was not a big embroiderer, So, you know, I've got knots tied and stuff hanging out, but I was only 8 years old anyway, so this looks pretty typical for an 8-year-old. And by the way, I love seeing everybody else's early projects on Flosstube. They're so cute. You know, it's cute to think of when we were 8 or 9 or 10 years old and what we were stitching. So please show yours. Show some more. All right, now here's the thing. Here's the UFO that I want some help with. And I'll preface this with, I started that my son, who I'm making the bottles of beer for, will turn 30 in December. And I probably did the first one of these when he was like 1 or 2. And I probably got them from a place that's long out of business that was over in Marietta, Georgia, the Needle Nook. And I had to collect them over the years. And I'll show you why. Now this is not finished. The white stitching on it is basting. It's just a small throw quilt or a wall hanging for Christmas time. And I have had this put together. Now the quilt shop is out of business. That helped me. A lady put this together for me. The top, she pieced the top. And I believe at the time, gosh, it's been like 10, 15 years. I think she charged me $65, which is not bad. And then I have basted it. I did all these basting running stitches. So here it is. I'm going to show you one at a time so you can see them and we can talk about them. Prairie Schooler Santa quilt. There's the sunflower guy with the birds in the birdhouse. He's cute. Let me also say that I have every one of these patterns from 1984 to 2017. I just got that from 123 Stitch. And I can't believe that Pamela Brinke, I don't know the rest of her name, has been doing these, designing these for us since 1984, and she is still designing them. The first pattern I bought was 50 cents. I still have the tag on it. And now they're up to what? $4.50, $5 each? Inflation. Okay, the next one is like my favorite because it has animals. Sorry, this is a little wrinkly. Let me turn this down, see if I can get it up there. There we go. Squirrel, look at the little birds, so cute. Squirrel, and look at that little cute raccoon. I used all the called for colors. You see the difference in the khaki Davos? This was called for 18 count khaki Davos. When I started, of course I didn't buy enough. I didn't even know that I was going to do this quilting thing right away. But you see the brownness of this, and this is much lighter. This is because I bought it, you know, 10, 15 years apart. So there's a lesson to get what you need, or get a lot if you even think you're going to do a big thing like this. Because I actually want to do another one. I have plenty of Santas. But I had to wait until she did a right facing, left facing, and forward facing, because that's the way the whole quilt is. So anyway, okay, here's fishing guy. Isn't he cute? He's got a lobster in his basket. This is the one that I think I'm going to finish and give to my son. And then I'm going to do my one for my daughter. Okay, this is one of the early ones. You see, she's got, she doesn't have the details in her earlier ones, but I love all of them. So I like them all being together. This is a very detailed one. Loved making that one. This one with the arc. So cute. So we have 12 on here. Hope you don't get bored with seeing them. This little guy, earlier, maybe in 1988, 89, alphabet, cute, and feather trees, love feather trees. Here we go, the fruitful Santa. Last row. hang. Gardening Santa. He's cute, isn't he? And this is another one that was early. I'm pretty sure this is the first one I did. So that should be around the late 80s. Okay. Again, I used the 18 count khaki Davos that the patterns called for, but I have seen these over the years made up on like 10 count, can't remember the name of that cloth, but 10 count, you know, higher, you know, 14 count, and they look great. I've seen them framed, I've seen them made into pillows. They just look really cute, whatever you do with them. I know a lot of people have done them. So the one reason I haven't finished this is because I want to hand quilt it. I'm not a hand quilter. I've taken a class, and I mean I've stitched forever, but I'm just laying down a holly leaf that I cut out, and I lay that down and trace it with a white, you know, like chalk thing, and then I stitch it. But somebody at first told me to do this with white. Well, you see how stark the white is, and I did them. I did, I think, 3 corners, and it's like a holly. See the holly, and then the holly going that way. And I took them out because then somebody said, oh, well, you should do green. Do like a green. So that, because you won't worry about your stitches so much. I mean, they're not bad, but it takes me forever because if I don't like the stitches, I take them back out. Oh my gosh, it goes on forever. Oh, here they are. Here's the 2 hollies together. And then I'm just going to do like somebody recommended like just a big swirl down this way, and maybe a holly leaf here and there. My quilty friend. But here, this is the green. Can you even see that? Do you see the green quilting? Now I'm going to take this out. Doesn't even show up. There it is. See it? Green holly leaf. Worthless. Why quilt if it doesn't even show up? So I need encouragement to complete this because I still love it. It's just going to be time consuming and take away from the fun of cross stitching. And oh, this, I forgot to show this. Did I show this? Yeah, I showed this, that I'm doing the Easter parade. But what I didn't show you is, look at this hoop. I've had so many hoops come and go through this house, and I think I got rid of them thinking that I was going to use my new frames. But every now and then, if you do a small project, it's nice to have a hoop. This was my great step-grandmother's. She's not related, but she was very talented. She did like things like quilts, lots of, like, I've got a double wedding ring quilt pieced topper. Look at this thing. It's beads on a wire. Have you ever seen anything like that? And it really works great. When I did this video yesterday, I said, I don't know if I'm going to use this because I don't, you know, this part is old metal. But this is the best hoop. I have never seen another one like it. Very tight. And, oh, right here it says, quote, fine art. It's a fine art hoop. Canton, Ohio. Patented. Fine art hoop. And it says something else in there on an old label right there. I was reading. Here's what I was reading. I was reading this. I don't know if I can show it to you. I don't think I can get up there, but it's etched in there. And that's some old label that I can't read without like putting it under my Dazor magnifier. But that's bizarre, isn't it? I like it. Interesting collectible. And there I've shown everything. And on the other end of the table, I have what I'm working on with my framing. And I'm following the Professional Picture Framers Association online steps for doing that. And I started my video. It's just going to be, I guess, like parts as I go. I started the video with washing the fabric, so we'll talk about that later. But I'll go through all the steps. They have on their site great photos of the steps. The lady who did this at a frame shop charged $600 and took 15 hours. So I thought, since I have the frame, I have the antique sampler. This is my first one I'm going to be framing, and I have several. So I'm hoping this is going to save me a lot of money, and I'm hoping I do a good job on it. If I don't, I'll be upset, and then I'll have to spend money to get it done. But I'm pretty sure I can do it. So $600. Okay, well, I had the backing, the rag board, and the foam core and everything, acid-free foam core, cut for me to my specifications based on this Professional Framers stuff. And it cost $40 so far. So, I have my own washing paste, and I'll show you all that. So I have washed my backing fabric. This is my backing fabric. It still feels really stiff, but I have washed this out twice, so I'm satisfied. This is a loose weave, and my sampler is a very loose weave. See? Very loose weave. But I think backed on this, and by the way, not much of this backing will show when I put it back in the frame. Hardly any of it will show. But I will be stitching this on. We'll be looking at that, and maybe this will help some people. If you have any interest in saving money and doing your own, we'll just see how this goes, because it's all new. This part is new to me. I have laced backs before, but this part is all new because I'm going to be stitching it right onto there, following their directions. And last but not least, I want to shout out to a couple of people, a couple of other Flosstubers. One is, I think she's pretty new. I hadn't seen her before, but she is Off the Grid Stitcher. I think that's what she's called. Look for Off the Grid. She's in Canada. She goes between her home in London, Canada. I'm not sure where that is, but she goes between there and her cottage on an island that her husband built. Her husband built the cottage on the island, not the island. And she is lovely, and she and her friends do a podcast. I think she did knitting, and she also has a shop where she sells just very well made project bags, and she shows those at the end of her Flosstubes. And she has some beautiful projects going that make me want to do some of these beautiful big motifs like the chatelaines, or I'm not sure which ones, what the patterns are, but they're beautiful. I know that they were named, one was like reds and one was blues, greens, really like those. And so anyway, go find Off the Grid. She was really good. And Cindy in Tennessee, who she had a fire at one point and lost a lot in her house, but she's moved to Tennessee, been there a while. Cindy, at the end of her last Flosstube, did a little tour of her garden and her yard, and she grows a lot of vegetables and puts them up and cooks with them every night, and I was fascinated by that. I just go to Kroger or Publix, but another life I dream of would be growing my own. I'll never do it, but living vicariously through Cindy's lovely garden and, of course, her lovely stitching. And I am sorry, I don't remember. I just remember she's Cindy. She has blonde hair. She's a lovely person. And thanks for sharing. And then let's see, somebody else. I told you about Miss Milky Bar Kid. Sorry for the dogs. I watched her entire thing on silk, Flosstube on silk, and I want to watch the one on linens. And she's very knowledgeable, very knowledgeable. Then the last one is Lindy. Hang on one second, I'm just going to shut a door. I'll be right back. I don't think that helps much, but the last one is Lindy Stitches. I just love Lindy. She's so cute, and she looks like maybe with her hair color and her coloring, she could be my daughter. But she's like me. She redoes the video like a million times. And Lindy, I think your videos are great. She's very honest, but not mean honest. She's just very honest about her opinions on her stitching and things like that. And I just like that. I enjoy watching you, Lindy. So keep up the good work. And I know there's others. I just figured out how to cast it. My husband got Chromecast, and now I can cast Flosstube onto my TV, and I'm just happy as a clam. But he's like, maybe I shouldn't have shown you how to do that. So anyway, please find me on the Fiber Talk. I'm doing it, like I said, July 20th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, and I'll be a nervous wreck, but hopefully I won't sound too bad, or I don't know. They said it's just going to be a nice little talk. And I have seen Nicola Parkman, and I've seen Nicole, who's one of my very favorite Flosstube people with all her samplers. I mean, I've not seen them, but I've listened to their Fiber Talks, and it's been fine. I think everybody gets nervous about it. But until we meet again, I will get this on, and I'm glad I redid it because the picture is like entirely different when I wipe the makeup off the iPhone and record. And I thank you for watching and listening, and for your comments, for my subscribers, for any new subscribers. I appreciate everybody, and I just continue to be amazed that people watch and ask me and contact me. I love it. Love the comments. And I hope everybody has a happy stitching day. And I will see you next time.